Alright, so now let's get to the good stuff. So here's where we have composition of functions, where we actually have to take one function and substitute the entire thing in for the x of the other function. So just like points, we always look at our function and we start with the one most that's closest to x. So this is actually telling us I want to take f of x, and instead of x, I want to sub in this entire function, which I call g of x. So this whole thing is going to get subbed inside of this function for x. So what would it look like? Well, since f of x is worth x plus 3, I want, excuse me, it's an equal sign, I want x plus 3. But instead of that x value that I have up here, I want all of this. So I need x squared plus 2x minus 1 plus 3. So I can simplify, and it's going to look like this. F of g of x is going to be worth x squared plus 2x plus 2. I might have to do it backwards. So once again, if I have the f here inside, then this is asking me to find g, and I want to plug in this whole thing, f of x. So let's put that one in green, just because it'll be different. So if that's true, then what's my g function? Well, my g function is pretty complicated. So this is going to look like this. My function x squared plus 2 x's minus 1. So instead of these x's, I left these blank spots because these guys are going to be replaced by this whole thing. So instead of x squared, I'm going to have all of this, x plus 3 squared. And instead of that x, I'm going to have all of this, which is x plus 3. So you can see there's a little bit of work to do. X plus 3 squared, make sure I FOIL that. It's going to get me x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus, and then 2 times x plus 3, that's distributive property. So 2 times x, 2x, 2 times 3 plus 6 minus 1. And then I simplify all my like terms. X squared plus 6x and 2x, 8x, 9 and 6 is 15 minus 1 plus 14. So g of f, in brackets, of x is worth x squared plus 8x plus 14. Now, I might be asked to evaluate this function at a very specific point. So I might be asked, hey, tell me how much f of g of x is when the x value itself is 2. Well, there's a pretty easy way to do this. And that is, if I know what g of 2 is, I can just plug that into the f function. So the first thing I'm going to find is I'm going to find how much g of 2 is. So if I could find g of 2, I can evaluate this. Here's my g function, x squared plus 2x minus 1. So g of 2 is going to be 2 squared plus 2 2's minus 1. That's going to be 4 plus 4 minus 1, which tells me that g of 2 is worth 7. So now, since I know g of 2 is worth 7, and I'm asked to find f of g of 2, then this function right here, this f of g of 2 is the same as f of, well, g of 2 is 7, so substitution, f of 7. So what's my x function, or my f of x function is x plus 3. So if I'm trying to find 7, then this is going to be 7 plus 3. So my function here is going to be worth 10, which tells me my original question, which is f of g of 2 is worth 10.